Good afternoon, everyone. If you can hear me, can you actually give a reaction? If you can hear me, can you react? So I'll be sure that you can hear me perfectly. Good afternoon, everyone. Yes, thank you very much. So we'll be starting right now with the opening prayer.
In Jesus' name, in the mighty name of Jesus. Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you, Lord, for bringing us here together today. Father, we appreciate you, Lord, for your presence. Father, we say be thy glorified. Father, we ask, Lord, that as we are about to start this program, Lord, we pray, Lord, that you bless the speakers, Lord, in the name of Jesus. We ask, Lord, that their words, Lord, will bring wisdom and clarity, Lord, so also, God, in Jesus' name. Pray, Lord, their words will bring knowledge and encouragement to every attendee of this program, Lord, in Jesus' name. And all glory and honor be ascribed only to your name, O God, in Jesus' name. For in Jesus' mighty name we have prayed. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Thank you very much, Ella. So now we're going to our school anthem to honor this school. So does anybody know University of Lagos school anthem? And since it's not just University of Lagos student we have here, so we'll just be taking the first stanza of the school anthem. And for those that don't know it, you get to know it now. University of Lagos, the rising sun, a fountain of excellence, a citadel of learning by the lagoon front, home of sound mind. Indeed and in truth, we rise beyond the skies. Our mission is to uphold the great heritage. We are the nation's pride. We are the nation's pride. First choice in scholarship and excellence, great knowledge and character, producing exemplary global leaders. God bless you, Nila. Indeed and in truth, we rise beyond the skies. Our mission is to uphold the great heritage. We are the nation's pride. Thank you very much, everyone. So, straight into business. First of all, before I do anything, I'd love to welcome our Subdean who is currently here. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Please, we can just clap. She's currently here. I really appreciate you making it to this online session. God bless you, ma'am. So, my name is Kaye Omogoye, and by the grace of God, I'm the Speaker of the University of Lagos Science Student Association House of Representative. And I'm not just doing this alone. I have three principal officers that are working alongside with me. I'm a lady with three powerful men. I have Dada Adetomiwa, I have Razak, and I have Makinde Isaac. They all work together to ensure that the house is in check and balance. And we are not just doing this alone. We have a sub-dean who always checkmate everything that we do. Basically, what the house do is to check and balance everything that is happening in the faculty. And I also want you to know that this meeting is currently streamed live on YouTube. So some people are currently streaming live on YouTube while some are here on Instagram. So I'm going to be introducing our speakers to every one of us. This is for you to know that, oh, it's a program that is to celebrate the International Women's Day. And the theme for this International Women's Day, as you can see from what we have here, is equity, rights, equality, and empowerment of a lady. That is all what the theme of this year's International Women's Day is all about. So we have, by the grace of God, we have our Dean, Professor Olayinka. Hey, I don't know if I'll get the Yoruba very well. Asekun. Oh, Asekuma, you can correct me when you come. I don't know if I got that Yoruba very well. But she is the mommy of the Faculty of Science, the first female Dean of the Faculty of Science. Indeed, we are very, very grateful to have a woman to lead. We've been having men lead, but it's an honor to have a woman that will lead, to have a mother that will lead the faculty, a mother who is a covering. That is why she is here, because it is International Women Day, for we all to see what God has been using her to do in this period. Now, first, we have our speakers, and the first speaker is after our something, we'll be having Miss Ayomide Aboyade. She is a dedicated SRHR advocate and a leader who is committed to promoting health equity, adolescent health, family planning, reproductive justice, and HIV/AIDS awareness. She designs and leads programs that foster inclusive youth development and empowerment for them to reach their full potential. I'm going to tell you about Aboyade. She is my coursemate. She is in zoology department, and she has gone to different states just to advocate for people. And you are going to learn a lot from her today. The next speaker is Miss Olanike. Miss Olanike is a woman that always speak for people out there. She's more or less like a voice. She's a voice to children out there. She ensures that, oh, the rights and she ensures that she's a seasoned leadership and development strategist with over a decade of experience in driving transformative change across the development, humanitarian, and public private sectors always. As a passionate advocate for gender equity and youth empowerment, she employs a people-centric approach to foster meaningful impact. Olanike has empowered numerous stakeholders, including Nigeria's civil servant permanent secretaries, civil society organizations, and over 4,000 youths through innovative educational programs. Our areas of expertise encompass governance, innovation, education, and curriculum design, leadership, organizational structures, and strategic advocacy for social justice. A dynamic speaker and facilitator, Olanike's commitment to ending child marriage, combating gender-based violence, and promoting equitable education makes her a powerful voice for women's rights and empowerment. With her extensive background in leadership training and empowerment and community development, she inspires audiences to engage in creating a more justice and inclusive world. Like, I went for rehearsal and I just saw her. I just said, this lady is into, she does advocating, that she advocates for people. And I reached out to her and I said, sister, we are having a program and we'd love you to talk to us about it. She didn't even say no, just like this our dean too. She didn't even say no. She was eager to talk to every lady out there. And this is a call to every lady out there to tell you that you are stars. And the last speaker is Senator Olafare Comfort Oladuni. Comfort is a motivational speaker and a mentor who has inspired many in Nigeria and beyond, specializing in governance, media, and self development. She has founded the Aduni Save a Girl Foundation to empower girls and the Aduni Mentorship Hub to youth networking. As the deputy chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, she advocates for youth empowerment policy. Additionally, she runs Doni's Signature Limited, a food and event business, and serves as a legislative assistant to Senator Adetokunbo Abiru. Comfort has received awards for her dedication to youth advocacy and gender equality, and her faith in God fuels her commitment to service and leadership. And one thing I want to know about our first speakers today is that they love God. That's one thing I want you to know. They're not just advocating, there's God in their advocation. That is why these people are doing what they are doing well. So join me, sisters, because this is ladies program. Join me, sisters, as I welcome Professor Olayinka to give us our welcome address, the Dean of Faculty of Science. You are welcome, ma'am. Okay, while we wait for the Dean to connect with us.
Sorry, hello. You know I've been talking. I
Oh,
forgot to unmute myself.
okay,
Sorry.
ma'am.
Okay. I said earlier that I'm also tired, just I think I'm
Yeah,
your name.
you're
That's
my
very
other
nice.
sister.
Okay. Thank you for inviting me to join you. And everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon, and welcome to this great event. Every year, the International Women's Day is marked on the 8th of March. And it's delightful that we are having this done again, even by Taye and her team, the speaker of Ulssahor. Thank you for putting this together. Before I go on, let me just say some protocol by recognizing the presence of the speaker. The speaker, I think just one of you. Okay, the guest speakers, three of you. Senator Comfort Olafare, Olanike Ogechi Oluwo, and Ayomide Aboyade, right? Thank you for showing up. Thank you for agreeing to be here. And thank you for coming to share your knowledge and experience with all ladies here. And I use this opportunity to thank you all for joining this conversation. I also want to recognize Omogo Itaye, the speaker of Ulssahor, and her team, because she mentioned the other time that there are four powerful people behind her here. So thank you for putting this important event together and doing it so successfully. I also welcome the reason why we are here, all the girls, the ladies, and the women that are participating in this event. You can put yourself where you belong, whether you're a girl, a lady, or woman. I know all of us like to be called ladies. So it's an honor, actually, and a privilege to welcome you all to this year's International Women's Day celebration that has been organized by the University of Lagos Science Student Association House of Representatives, which we commonly call the Ulssahor. Today is dedicated to honoring the strength, resilience, and invaluable contributions of women and girls around the world. So many events are going on today, everywhere in the world to mark this day, and I'm happy that we are one of them. We are making impact. And so we also gather today not only to reflect on the progress we have made so far, but also want to renew our commitment to the ongoing work that is necessary to secure the rights, the equity, and the empowerment of women and girls everywhere, just like the theme of this year's International Women's Day says. The rights, equity, and empowerment. This is both timely and urgent, as all of you will agree with me. And we also stand on the shoulders of those who have fought tirelessly for gender equality in this country and worldwide, we acknowledge that there is still much work to be done. So all hands must be on deck to make sure it works. We are moving towards that, especially here at the University of Lagos. I believe we have known that we have a lot of women advisors here. So equity is being done here at the UNILAG and all areas of leadership at the University of Lagos. We only hope that it will move on to all other spheres in the country and in the world at large. So the road to full equality is not smooth, but we must remain steadfast in our commitment to ensure that every woman or every girl have access to the same opportunities, the same freedom and protection as anyone else, anywhere they find themselves. And today we stand united in our belief that every woman and every girl has the right to live freely from violence and discrimination, which we always suffer from most times. And we have, and also to pursue education and careers without barriers, without hindrances, without limitations, and to participate fully in the society where they belong. We are here to reaffirm that when women and girls are empowered, our society as a whole will thrive. I believe we all believe that. And that our voices, our decisions, and our leadership are critical to building a just and equitable world for everybody. So this celebration is a call to action, my dear sisters, ladies, girls, and women. For each one of us, it's a call for celebration, a call for action, whether through advocacy, whether through our education, whether through policy changes, or even simply standing in solidarity with one another. Very crucial. We each have a role to play in breaking down the barriers that continue to hold us back from the full potential, from our full potentials as women and as girls. So as we embark on today's discussion, let us remember that gender equality is not just a woman's issue, not just women's issue, it's a woman issue that affects all of us. Because when the women are there and they are doing well, the goodness they bring, the positivity they bring, the progress they bring affects all humanity. And that's where we are going. So it is a human issue that affects everyone. And it is through our collective effort that we can ensure a brighter and more equal future for generations to come. Don't let me bore you with much talk because we are still going to listen to three powerful women that are going to share their experiences with us. But at this point, I want to say thank you all for being here today. Your presence shows that together we are committed to forging a path towards a more just, equal, and empowered world. Happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma. God bless you, ma. I'm super happy that you're my namesake. If I need anything, I'll be running to your office.
Welcome, my dear.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma.
you're
We
welcome.
really do appreciate you, ma.
Welcome, my dear.
So, while we await our first speaker to come, I would love to say this. So in Nigeria that we had today, we understand that there are a lot of things that the few women cannot do. But this is a call to every one of us that this is not a feminism thing or anything. It's a call for you to know that you can do all things. Permit me for saying this because my Bible made me to understand that before with God nothing shall be impossible. It didn't say that with man only it can be possible. It said for with God nothing. It didn't specify. So that means if it can be possible with a man, it can also be possible with a lady, with you, with Grace, with Nelsie, with Tiniola, with Ayola, with Afolake. That is what it's saying. So it is possible with you. It is very, very possible with you. So being a lady at certain places, men might think that how can you do it? But this is a call for you to know that you can do it. You can do it. Our mothers have known what it means to give birth. If they can pass through that, and I've been hearing that pregnancy is, or no, child delivery is not easy. So if they can go through that, I don't know what will be more painful than that. So, my sisters, even in our academics, we can do it. Even in any affairs that we do or we lay our hands on, we can do it. Being in this position of like, God, how can I do this? Oh, how do I do this? This program has been, God, how do we do this? How do we do that? But it's happening today. So I'm going to check if we have our first speaker online currently. Blessing is our first speaker online. Yes. So luckily, we started on time. And by the grace of God, we should have, if we say who was the first person to join, we might not know. Everybody will say I was the first to join. Did we have anybody that was the first to join? Oh, I think there was someone that joined. I can't remember who was the first to join. Myself and something we were here. Who was the first to join after myself and something? Who was the first? I'm checking through the chat box. Or did anybody raise their hands up? Okay, looks like I'm going to take my giveaway to myself. Anybody? Or the person is not here? Okay. So moving forward, I would love to welcome our first speaker, who is Miss Aboyade Ayomide. You are welcome, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, can everyone hear me, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So, can you see my screen as well? Can you see my face?
You look good, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, um, good day, everybody. I'm happy to be here. And once again, happy International Women's Day to everybody on this call. Um, I'm really grateful to my Dean of Faculty for the wonderful keynote that she just had. It was powerful. Thank you very much, ma'am. And also, I'd like to say thank you to Taye for inviting me to speak on this program. And as someone who's passionate about gender equality, passionate about SRHR, I'm glad to be sharing from my experience with you all. So I would be starting right about now. Please, I would want to share my slides. Is it possible to enable it for my hand, please? Type.
Okay, ma'am. I'll do that now.
Okay. Um, I I'm still unable to share. So maybe I should just start.
Can you
Yes, it's still showing host disabled participants when sharing. Okay, so while we're waiting, so can we use the chat bot, please? Can anybody just share what's the theme for today's this year's IWD is? So what's the theme
you can
say?
share now?
Okay. Okay, please confirm that you can see my screen.
Yes, you can.
Okay. So does anybody want to tell us what you understand by the theme, what you know that is the theme for this year's IWD? Okay, it's already on my slide, but you can just say it. I just like to hear voices, so I know that everybody's following.
Accelerating actions for women's rights.
Okay. So I know it's right on my screen, but the one on my screen is not the full one. The theme is accelerating action for women's rights, for rights, equality, and empowerment. So I'll start right now. So what does International Women's Day mean to us? And I was going to speak on the rights we have as women in Nigeria. But then again, I thought to myself, it would not be okay for us to speak on our rights. We are understanding, why exactly are we talking about women's rights? Why are we even celebrating International Women's Day? When we say accelerating action, what exactly are we accelerating? Which action? So we'll be going through all of that in my slide. And so my name is Aboyade Ayomide once again, and I am a gender equality advocate. So when we talk about women's rights, what exactly are women's rights? From the picture on this side, you can just drop in the chat box what you can see. Okay, so someone can see equal pay. What can other people see? Feminism, okay. What else can you see? Gender equality, good. So from here, we can see women's rights right in the middle. We can see equal rights. We can see equal pay. We can see women's equality. We can see social rights. We can see women. We can see economic rights. We can also see votes. Yes, we can see WOC. Well, WOC stands for Women of Color. So that is Black women, Asian women. So when we talk about women's rights in general, what are rights? I think everybody has gone through social studies or civic education from primary school to secondary school, even in the university. I think some people have understood what rights, but then when you talk about rights, what exactly are rights? So rights are, okay, there's a chart. What exactly are our rights? So rights are, in basic terms, rights are what you are entitled to as a person living in a particular country. So like the privileges you have access to, what you're able to do as a person that, or even as a human being in general, as you are a person, whether you are male or female, whether you are young or old, black or fair, these are your rights. So what exactly are they? We have right to life, right to education, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, right to fair hearing, be able to have, a counsel to represent you in the court of law, be able to work and earn a decent pay, a living wage. So but then when we talk about women's rights in particular, from time immemorial, for a period of time, women have been, marginalized in the world. But then I'll be coming down to on a Nigerian landscape now. So women in Nigeria, so the history of rights of women in Nigeria have not been without, action like protests. Women are protesting for right to be able to vote, or women are protesting for, like the about women's rights, the taxation from the colonial masters were a lot. Women are protesting to be able to, own property, be able to go to school or different things like that. Even recently, women, I think 3 years ago, yes, women protested for 5 gender bills. Now, what are the gender bills? All of these things are what I'll be taking us through in this slide. So we should understand that women's rights are things that, as even if we say that women's rights covers women's rights, of course, women are humans. But then again, there are some struggles or challenges that we face as women that are peculiar to us as women. So that is why it is important for us to understand what these challenges are, what the struggles are, and be able to address it by having peculiar laws or peculiar policies that cater to these challenges. Do we understand? So when you say right to what can I use as an example now? So let's say education now, or something like child marriage. Of course, the Nigerian constitution recognizes that um the child marriage, the age of consent, legal age of consent to get married is like 18, but then some states it's not 18. Okay, so some states have other, state laws that govern them. So all of these things are what we'll be looking at. Next slide. So now for us to understand where we're coming from, like I said earlier, the history of women's rights in Nigeria have not been without its own struggles. So Nigerian women have gone a long way towards achieving the rights that we have now. So from the Abeokuta Women's Union, I don't know if any of us have heard about the Abeokuta Women's Union, and it was led by Madam Funmilayo Ransome-Kuti in 1940s to the Aba Women's Riot in 1929. And this Aba Women's Riot was what began the feminist movement. So here we can see like a right to vote, which is like a constitutional. Let me find out to remove this. Yes. So a right to vote, which is like the constitutional rights for everybody in Nigeria. And we think that it has always been so, like everybody can vote. But unfortunately, it has not always been so. Southern Nigerian women just had the right to vote in 1958, and then Northern women received their right in 1970. That is like 20 years after Southern Nigerian women received their rights. So you understand that this ability to be able to vote was brought about by action of some women. Some women paved the way for every woman in Nigeria to be able to vote, which is like a constitutional human right by being a citizen of Nigeria. And also, there was in the 1999 constitution, the language that was previously used was gender bias. So when you are having things like there were no he or she, it was just he should not, a person should in different instances. So some people came together, like understood that sometimes when we say he, we mean every human, like man or woman. But then again, it would be good for a constitution to be specific. So they amended the constitution to have where you have he or she that's speaking to both male and female. Also, in the for child marriage, you can see in the 1999 Constitution versus Child Rights Act 2003. So the Child Rights Act says that women, the age of consent to get married is 18 above. That someone that is from 18 onwards is underaged. But then the Nigeria's constitution did not explicitly say that. So people had to, advocate to make sure that it is written in the constitution that the legal age of marriage for women should be from 18. But this has not been domesticated in some other states, like some northern states. But then if the person like charges them to court, we can use the Child Rights Act. So, but then previously, before that, women had to advocate that, okay, this constitution should be amended to include like the age of consent to get married to 18. And then it has been allowed in some states, but then some states, like I mentioned earlier. Then there's also the cultural barriers to owning lands. Previously, yeah, some customs or some traditions of other tribes, they banned women from owning land. So while women could cultivate land, they could work as farmers, they could not own this land. And that was causing economic inequality, because no matter how much you want to work on a particular farm, no matter how much you are making money from it, a man could just come and say, oh, this is my property, I don't want you on my property. Or you can have a lot of money, or you can, think you are the owner of the land. But then some people with their customs can come and say, oh no, women should not own lands, even though it is like maybe your parents gave it to you or you inherited it or something, but then there were still cultural barriers. Even though the constitution did not explicitly state that women should not own lands, there were still cultural barriers that was barring women from owning land. So other women from this particular tribe had to advocate to say, you know what, women should be able to own land. I should be able to inherit lands from my parents. I should be able to own lands. As a woman, I should also be able to, give my lands to my female children. Then there's also educational and political restrictions. So while we did not particularly have a law that bounded women from going to school or that bounded women from participating in politics. There were still other cultural barriers that were holding women back. So some communities, they prioritize sending their male children to school rather than their female children. And some communities, they believe that women cannot serve, women cannot be leaders, and the women should just be submissive. They can do supporting roles like secretary roles or note takers. But then when it comes to leading, they don't believe that women can lead a country or an organization, which is funny because women are really good with handling finances, women are good with running the home, but then when it comes to running like a country or a state, they believe that women are not good enough. So that is wrong. And so a group of women came together, they sat down like, okay, this is wrong. We should have a law that explicitly states that women are allowed to do this. And so like if there's anybody that is challenging that, you can be able to sue the person to court and the court would, be in your favor. And there's also the impact of economic inequality. So for some time, a lot of women were not able to own bank accounts because they would need, consent from their husbands or like a male person in charge, which was wrong because why would I be the owner of my business, but I'll need consent from my husband to be able to sign. Then there's also the part where, okay, a woman sued the Nigerian Immigration Services. This was in 2009. So previously, if a woman wanted to apply for your Nigerian passport, you would have a married woman. You'd have to have a consent from your husband that is giving you permission to have a passport. And that is wrong. That is very, very funny because what if you don't want your husband to be away, or even if your husband is away, but then it makes no sense to make women have written consent from their husbands to be able to apply for a passport. And the woman sued the Nigerian Immigration Services. And their excuse was that a married woman is under her husband, so she has submitted to her husband. And that they said that in the Nigerian Constitution, women are are grouped as minors with children. So they have like men, then under minors, we have women and children. And that is very, very wrong because women are adults, like full adults on their own, and they can make decisions. They don't need anybody, a superior's consent to make decisions on their own. So the court of law ruled that women are full entities of their own, and that so married women and married men are equal. A married couple are equal in the eyes of the law. There's nobody bowing to anybody's authority. So married women can now apply for passport without needing consent from their husband. Also, just last year, yes, it was in November last year, that the NDLEA brought their frequently asked questions. And there you could see, like they said, married women needed consent from their husbands. So even after the Nigerian Immigration Services had already, changed their laws back in 2009, that married women no longer needed their husband's consent. But that's for Nigerian Immigration Services. NDLEA were still saying that a married woman should have consent from her husband because they believe that, husband having a consent from your husband will put you in check. So in case anything happens, they will be able to contact the husband. And like if there's something wrong, or maybe there's any issue that they're saying, why don't you contact them? Why do you need someone that you think is of higher authority than her? So there were a lot of, advocacy on Twitter, yes, and even on ground advocacy. A lot of organizations were working like, no, that is wrong. Women can make their own decisions. And it's funny where every time we have to advocate that women are old enough, women are humans, we have the same capacity as men that we can make our own decisions. So, but now, yes, back in 2024 November, the council put a stop to that law that, okay, yes, everybody is equal, everybody is on the same level. So if you need any requirement from a woman, then you should need the same from a man. If you need a permission from the husband, then if the husband is applying, you should also need a permission from the wife. Like a husband and his wife are equal in the eyes of the law. So all of this is for us to understand like where we are coming from as Nigerian women and how the law haven't always been in our favor. Like the last one I mentioned was just in 2024. So you see that it is important for us, like we've not had a plain level field at all, and it has not been without its own struggles. Women have been advocating, and we will still continue to advocate because there are still a lot of things that we need as Nigerian women. So I'll be moving on to where we are right now. So that was where we are coming from. This is where we are, our current right. So right now we have our legal frameworks. This is the Nigerian 1999 Constitution, which has been amended a couple of times to, be more gender friendly, more less gender biased. So we have that. We also have the VAP Act, which came to light in 2015. So VAP means violence against persons prohibition. So this covers aspects of gender-based violence, domestic violence, sexual harassment. Before there was nothing like sexual harassment, and before in the Nigerian Constitution, um, if someone was molested, this is nothing you could do. And if you were harassed, there was little nothing you could do. And then there was also the aspect of rape where it was not explicitly stated. And then the meaning for rape was turning on, it was not straightforward, like, having sex with someone without their consent. It was not as straightforward as that. So the VAP Act recognizes that, rape is okay. Yeah, the constitution state that only penetration was rape, but then there are also different aspects of sexual intercourse that is not necessarily penetration that the constitution did not cover. So the VAP Act covered all of that. And there was also the aspect of male rape. Yes, the constitution did not recognize that boys or men could be raped, but under the VAP Act now we have that boys can be raped and they can seek for justice. But the VAP Act has not yet been, implemented in other states in Nigeria yet, but we are still pushing for that. And then we have the Child Rights Act of 2003. The Child Rights Act it has also been it has been implemented in 24 out of 36 states. So we're actually pushing for that since 2003. So you can imagine what it would look like for women and girls in other states where if someone is molested, you have the VAP Act that you can use. You have the Child Rights Act that can protect you as a woman in Nigeria. And then this act has been, implemented in Lagos State. But other states that these laws are not implemented, they just have the Nigerian constitution to themselves. So you can imagine how terrible advocating in those kind of states would be. Now, we also have the international convention. So this is CEDAW 1979. So I was unable to put like the full words, but I'll just say it here. And you can also check online. Yes, I would advise individuals to check online because it's important for us to read and understand, okay, what laws and policies are protecting me as a woman in Nigeria? What laws recognizing the rights that I have as a Nigerian woman? So CEDAW stands for Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. And it it was put together by the United Nations in 1979. Where's my cursor? Okay, yes. In 1979. So discrimination when it comes to labor, like work, before you could not, they say, okay, this kind of work is for men, this work is for women. And it wasn't even just, now when you say the only thing that's holding you back is you, then it's not the only thing that was holding you back. Then it was yourself, it was your family. It was also the law that was saying, no, women cannot do this, men can do this. Yes. But now, through this international Nigeria is a part of the international convention where we signed the CEDAW. Then we also have the Maputo Protocol. Maputo Protocol is the protocol to the African Charter on Human and People's Rights on the rights of women in Africa. So it's an African protocol that covers African women in 2003. And it is called the Maputo Protocol because the convening happened in Maputo, South Africa. Then we have CRC in 1989. CRC stands for Convention on the Rights of Child. Then we have UDHR. UDHR is Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And we also have the Beijing Declaration of 1995. So the Beijing Declaration happened 30 years ago in 1995. So today we're also celebrating the 30th year anniversary of the Beijing Declaration. Also, so there's something I would like to point out. In this CEDAW, they left the minimum age of marriage open for different states, because different countries will come together to agree on these policies that okay, women can be able to run for position. Everybody will sign, every country will sign. Women can we want to have at least 50-50 representation of women and men in education. Every country will sign. So for this CEDAW, the minimum age of marriage for women, they left it open that different countries should take to put whatever age they wanted. But then in Maputo Protocol, African leaders recognized that, it was allowing some states or countries that had um, malicious intent. Some countries were putting the age of consent as low as 8 years old, and that was very, very wrong. So, African Union, countries under the African Union came together to put the Maputo Protocol, and they put the minimum age to 18 years old. Then we have agencies, Nigerian agencies that protect the rights of women in Nigeria. So we have the Nigerian National Human Rights Commission. So now, while I was doing the research for my presentation, I went to, this Nigerian National Human Rights Commission to read. I wanted to read the laws and the rights that were there one after the other, so I could have them as like. But unfortunately, it wasn't opening. I tried everything I could. It was just showing an error message, different, it will show on the Google page. But when it gets to open the web page itself for that particular website, so just showing an error message. So I don't have all of the rights. I just have to read them from other articles that other people wrote, and then from the United Nations website and things like that. So yes, we have them, but I don't know how far. Then we have the Ministry of Women Affairs, that's WAPA. And we have FIDA, which is the Federation of International Women's Lawyers in Nigeria. So they're a group of women lawyers, FIDA, that work to uphold women's rights in Nigeria. We also have RAPA, we have Project Alert, we have Lagos. That's why it's LGBTQ there. Okay, so some other countries add, lesbian women, bisexual women, queer women. And so they recognize their rights, but I don't think that it is in Nigeria. Anyways, I don't focus on that. I just focus on straight women. So moving on to our next slide. So what still needs to be done? We've seen where we are coming from, what we have to advocate for. We've seen where we are now, that okay, yes, we have rights as women, we have the law backing us. But then there's still a lot of things that needs to be done. There's still a lot of biased laws in Nigeria that still don't favor us completely. So number one is that the implementation of these laws and the international conventions, they are weak. Some of them have not been domesticated in some states. So while I think Lagos State is doing well to an extent on the domestication of these laws. Some other states, they are not like Lagos states. And then the implementation are weak. Even sometimes, even some lawyers do not recognize, like, okay, CEDAW said this, Paputukupuko said, oh, what does your Nigerian constitution state? They ask you, what does it state? And then the constitution does not cover a lot of these things that protect women. Also, out of 144 countries across the world, Nigeria ranks 122nd, including the gender gap. So issues like equality when it comes to receiving equal pay, when it comes to economic equality, when it comes to things regarding healthcare, Nigeria is still really, there's still a lot of work that needs to be done, because women, unfortunately, do not even have the same access to healthcare in Nigeria. Then sexual and gender-based violence is at an all-time rise. When I don't know how many of us are active on Twitter, but every time I open my Twitter, there's a man killing a woman somewhere. There's somebody harassing somebody somewhere. And you just wonder, why is nothing happening? We have laws that are protecting women. Why is this still happening? You barely hear that these men are charged to court. You barely hear that they're in jail. You barely hear that they're doing anything. But then we have laws. Why are they not being implemented? Also, we have the systemic exclusion of women, i.e., the rejected five gender bills. So the five gender bills, they were rejected 2020. 3 years. Okay, yes. Sorry, someone's speaking. Is someone saying something, please?
No, ma,
I'll just go on. So the five gender bills, yes, that's what I want. So what exactly are these five gender bills? A group of women came together. So like, okay, they went through the laws and policies that we had in Nigeria and said that, okay, this something then. They saw that the equation was not balancing. Permission to use that. They saw that the equation was not balancing. And sorry, how I should sorry, can you still hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can. We can.
Okay, I'm so sorry. A call came in on my network. So the five gender bills, a group of women came together from different parts. They wrote to the National Assembly proposing five gender bills. So do you know that as a woman in Nigeria, okay, let me use this example. When women, men, men and women, they travel to abroad, maybe America, maybe the UK, and they marry somebody that is a citizen abroad, they can automatically become citizens. They just have to apply after a set of years, and then they can become citizen. And then in Nigeria here, it is not like that. If a man marries a foreigner, his wife can become a citizen. But women cannot, confer citizenship on their husband. So a Nigerian woman, if you marry maybe an American, your husband cannot claim Nigeria. He cannot have Nigerian citizenship. And that was one of the bills that was included in gender bills. Then the other one was the fact that they wanted gender parity when it came to political inclusion. So we were saying that for every party that wants to, send names for to run for electoral offices, that at least 35% affirmative action. So it was also under the CEDAW and Beijing Declaration and Maputo Protocol that Nigeria signed. For them to implement it, they've been dilly-dallying. So it was part of the gender bills that Nigerian women wrote to the Senate House for them to implement. That, okay, we want at least 35% of women on seats in the National Assembly. And then when, parties are dropping the names for people to be elected, at least 35% as well. And I don't know, some people have come to say that, oh, why can't it just be why do we also have affirmative action? Why can't any woman that is interested to apply? Why do we have to make sure that women have so and so number? The issue is that we would always need affirmative action at the early stage. Women have been excluded in a lot of things, in especially decision making. We need more women at the helms of decision making in this country. Women make up to 50% of the population, and you cannot tell me that we don't need at least 50% representation as well when it comes to decision making. So the 3% that we have is not going to do anything. Three people on a seat, how many women's issues are going to be addressed? You just be having normal issues, but then women have specific issues. They have issues when it comes to menstrual health. You know how much parts are right now. But then we have women there that say, okay, you know what? Let's advocate for at least 50% reduction in the prices. That would do us well in this country, or don't you think so? So we're saying that at least in the early stages of inclusion, at least 35%. And then when we see that in the long run, when we know that equality has been achieved, then of course it can continue to go on as it likes. I also like to use the example of universities. So, in UNILAG, when you apply, when they release their cutoff mark, some states have a reduction in the general cutoff mark. Then we also now have ELDs. These are educationally disadvantaged states. And their own cutoff is usually like way lower, like maybe 3, 4, 5 lower than the general cutoff point. This is because we understand that students from those states do not have the best of educational opportunities. So they would need to, be encouraged, like encourage them to go. But then when you have a large number of students, we see that okay, everything is already proper, everything is going on well in this state, then of course we would no longer need to use that measure. But then this is just to encourage a lot of people to apply, to go to school and be educated. So that is why we need affirmative action, especially when it comes to political inclusion of women in Nigeria. So that is also one of the things that was rejected by the National Assembly. So you see that we still have a long way to go in this country. Next slide. I think my time is running. So in conclusion, let's understand that women's rights are human rights. So there is nothing for women without women. You don't expect men to advocate for you. Of course, there are men that understand the issues that women have and they advocate for women. But then you don't expect a man to totally understand everything you're going through as a woman or understand our lived experiences as women. So there's nothing for us without us. And then you should also know that equality is not a favor, it is a right. Equality is your right. You have a right to be equal to a man and you should demand it. So I would want to enjoin us to support women. You have women around you, women doing work around you. You should do well to support them. Also, there's something I like to do. When maybe I go to the market to buy something and there are different people selling stuff, I just like to buy from the women. Yes, I give my money to women. So it's just my way of supporting them and saying, you know what, I see you, I see what you are doing. I'd like to encourage you. So invest in women as well. There are a lot of women businesses, women have opened businesses that will need support. It also be good for us to invest in them as women. Also stand with women. It would not be good for, everybody, maybe not everybody, but a large number of us, have experienced maybe sexual harassment or have been raped or catcalling. And when people come forward to share their stories, it is a very bad thing for fellow women to be the one to castigate them, be the one to find loopholes. So we always stand with each other because we alone know each other's lived experiences. We know what it's like to be a woman. I know what it's like to be a woman, and to be important for us to stand with each other. Then celebrate women around you. Does not make sense to have World Friendship Day or International Women's Day, and you as a woman, you're not posting anything. I say, it's not my thing. No, make sure you celebrate each other, celebrate your friends as well. It's not only when they're getting married that you celebrate them. No, celebrate them when they're having important things to do, when they're breaking grounds, breaking barriers, celebrate them. And also let's make sure to take action for women. Sometimes we might not understand, what exactly are they protesting about, what exactly are they complaining about. But if you take time to read upon it, you go online, read upon it, check on Twitter, read articles, you understand that what women are protesting for is for everybody's good. So let's make sure to take action. You see something asking for you to sign, read up on it, understand it, and also sign, share your signature, share it to other people as well. So I think with this, I've been able to enable us understand, what women's rights are, how far we have come towards achieving women's rights, and what still needs to be done. So I hope that is done. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening. And yeah, I'm done. If you have questions, you can ask.
If there's nothing I took from your point, what I can remember is that there is nothing for women without women. and about the fact of going to market and always buying from the ladies. Thank you very much, ma. There'll be a session for questions. So we want the speakers to speak. Then anyone that has question would, then after all the speakers are done, we'll start with questions. So we just answer everything at once. I hope you understand, ma'am.
Yes, that's very good.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much, ma'am. I really appreciate. Please, can we clap our electronics and for Mrs. Amboyade? Thank you very much. So, our next speaker is currently around, and like I said before, she's an advocate for children. She's doing well here. She's doing well. So, with excitement in my heart, because yesterday while we were talking, she almost scattered my head yesterday. Oh God. And I'm super happy for what she would speak to us about. So join me to welcome Miss Olanike Ogechi. You're welcome, ma'am. Popularly called Nike of Lagos.
Honorable Taye, good afternoon. Good afternoon to our chief host. Good afternoon, everyone. I tried sharing my slides and it's redirecting me, and I was like, please, I cannot waste my time. Thank you so much for this invitation. Thank you for having me here. It's such a pleasure to be here. Mrs. Ayomide, yes, did justice to highlighting the rights of a woman. And recently I was talking to a bank in Nigeria, and it was talking about advocacy day, human rights day. And I was letting them know that how many of you even know your workplace rights? How many of you even know where to complain if you are being violated at your place of work? How many of you are going through managerial employee issues, and many people don't even know their workplace rights. And so bringing to bear the fact that we need to know our laws, because if you ask the average American child, when I mean average, I mean from the primary school, they already begin to teach them about their constitution. But in Nigeria, we feel that you must be a lawyer before you know your constitution, right? Which is why we always advocate that even from the basic level of, primary school, secondary schools, begin to teach people about the Nigerian constitution. Don't leave it to going to university and being a lawyer, and then you must understand the constitution because you're a lawyer. I had to take time to study the constitution in 2020 during the lockdown. I had to sit down to understand that what is it about this Nigerian constitution? What is there for me? What are my basic rights as a Nigerian citizen? How can I even harness? Who do I complain to if such things happen? I'll use opportunity to also encourage everyone that please sit down with the Nigerian constitution. It's very simple. If you don't know, if it looks too ambiguous and all the section, sit with a lawyer friend, and people have simplified it, begin to, understand it. It helps you understand your thought pattern and your rights, and you know when to speak up, you know when to channel issues, advocacy, the right campaigns to speak about. Yeah, so I'm moving forward to my topic today, equality of a lady. Equality of a lady. Equality of a lady. I wish you guys could see my slides. So I'm just going to be talking about the objectives now. The
I'm sorry for
objective of,
sorry, ma'am. You can try sharing it now.
oh, okay, let me try it now. Mm, sorry, it's taking forever to sign in. Wow, why is it not signing in? Just a second, please. I'm looking for. It says server error. It says server error. I don't know why it's saying that, but I was thinking of sending it to you. It's saying server error. I don't know why it's saying that at the moment. Just a second. I'm so sorry for taking your time. It's saying server error. Thank you, Divine Wachupo. I need to share it so that you see how engaging these slides are. My goodness. Should I send it to you, Taye, and you help me to project it? Is that fine by you? Hi, Taye, do I send it to you? Is it okay? And I'll continue so that.
I think you can send it to me while you are talking now. I would
Okay,
get
I'm
it.
doing that now. Please check your WhatsApp. I'm doing that now. I'm doing that now. Yeah, I'm doing that now. Mm, this week, sorry. So I just sent it to you, Taye. I just sent it to you. Okay, so I'm just going to comment. So I really love sessions to be really very engaging, interactive. It just helps us know that we are on the same thought pattern. And if I need to go back, please let me know. I'm going to go back. So objectives for today's presentation talks about basically looking at the history of gender equality, difference between gender equality and gender equity. Look at gender-related issues in your home, in your school, around your environment. What gender-related issues have you been able to identify? It's not even enough to even identify them, but do you even know the right solution to prefer for such issues? Thirdly, have a better understanding on equitable strategies to improve women's participation across all sectors. Remember again that the topic is equality of a lady. Please, if you have questions, drop it, And my table of contents, okay, it's not here, you guys will see it later. So when you hear the words gender, when you ask somebody, what's your gender? You ask someone, what's your gender? So you can drop in the comments, what's your gender? Let me hear, what's your gender? Just drop it, what's your gender? People say, oh, they're this, they're that. You begin to see different things now. Different people want to identify as cats. Some people want to identify as, they say LGBTQ. They want to, they identify as that, right? So on your passport or on your ID card, when they put your name, they'll put, for instance, Olanike right? Your sex talks about the fact that you are female, you are male, talking about the biological characteristics. What makes a woman, womb, breastfeeding, what makes a man, testicles, testosterone, talk about his manly physiological characteristics, basically. However, when we now talk about gender in its real sense, gender talks about norms, socially constructed norms that society has considered appropriate for a male or a female. What do I mean? So imagine growing up as a child, you hear your parents say, Joko, you're a woman, close your leg. Mama, don't joke, don't open your leg like that. Maybe your parents, you go out and your parents say, they just give you one wink, the way they look at you, this side eye, and they say to you, sit down, you're a woman. The woman must be, the woman should not be loud. You hear a lady speaking and she's laughing, and people are like, can a lady be like that? A lady is supposed to be composed and prim and proper. While we understand all these social etiquettes, they are really very important. However, these are roles that society has constructed that a woman should do. A woman should behave. A woman should act. You ask someone who just finishes university. During my time when I finished, years ago, and we were asking some people, okay, what's your plan after university? So people said, oh, marriage. Because, there is a timeline that the moment you finish university, your parents are already saying, Ayao, people are already saying, Ayao, go to your husband's house. So subconsciously, your mindset has taken upon you it's been ingrained in your mind to just accept that the moment after university you must marry. And so if you do not marry, there's something wrong with you, right? Or you see people saying things like, as a man must provide, which is good. If you even look at the biblical order of things, that's how it's supposed to be. But you don't put pressure on a man, to always provide, regardless of any situation, which is why we have high level of, of menace in the society. There's so much pressure on guys to perform. After university, the guy must be made. Even look at twins. When twins finish, imagine a twin boy and a twin girl. They both finish university, but the pressure is more on the guy to make it than the girl. Because they feel that, you're a woman, you can't get married, the man will take care of you. The guy, you must make it. And so you see some of them, they want to go through that diabolical means to make it. There's so much pressure. It's gender roles, gender norms. Gender says that, you must act a certain way. If you don't act a certain way, you're not a man. A man must not cry. Men do not cry. You must hold it. Even when you even see, I gave an exercise to some students in Accord. And I said to them that when you see a guy and a girl, twin children crying, who will you pick first? So I'm going to ask everyone here. When you see a twin boy that these are twins, boy and a girl, when you see them crying, who will you pick first? Who will you naturally gravitate towards? Okay, Shakta is already sharing it. Okay, Favor Moses says female. So who will you naturally gravitate towards when you see a guy and a girl cry? You will gravitate towards exactly. Exactly. So you gravitate towards the girl child, right? You say, you're a man. Men, well, wait. You grab the girl and say, sorry. Already, subconsciously, you're already putting gender roles unconsciously into them. You're making them feel like, the guy, you're a guy, you should be able to chest it. You're a man. Why are you even crying? You even hear some women even abuse the boy child, the baby, the toddler. I say, as you're a guy and you open your mouth, they cry like this. And they just carry the girl and say, girl. So there's a society looks at women as, they are softer, they are weaker. And so you see that even when a woman can do certain things, a woman can carry bag of rice because they said that you're a woman. You say, no, just give me 2 kg to carry, just give me 3 kg when she can carry the 10, 15 kg, right? And you see a man who cannot even carry 10 kg. He's like, please, I can only carry 2 kg, but she says like, you're a man, you're able to carry 50 kg self. So they put so much pressure on guys, and they put so much pressure, on women to even underperform. Which is why we're having so many advocacies right now for women to be enlightened, to know their right, to know that, look, you are made for more. You are made for what they've said you can achieve. You are made for way more than you can imagine. So, and it starts with ensuring that women are well represented in leadership roles. Educating parents. I say, parents, you know what? Gone are the days where we say that a man must be a man must only be known for certain things. A woman must be delegated to the kitchen. A woman must be delegated to, nothing. Even looking at students, okay, science students now. Let's have a practical overview of what we are saying. How many women are science students in your faculty? How many women? Give me a percentage. I want to know the percentage. Give me a percentage on a scale of 100% anyway. So give me a percentage. How many women are science students in your faculty? I want to know. I'm interested. Just give me an assumption. You don't need. You may not need know the actual value or the actual number, but I need to know. Just give me. I want to 60%. Really? So 60% of women are science students in your faculty, not department. Faculty of Science. You say them plenty well. I can't even assume. So Just give me. We're definitely more. Are you serious? Faculty of Science, University of Lagos. Are you serious? Like, are you really? Let me read the charts. Like 60%. Oh, interesting. 60%. Okay. That means the research that is being shown that was done in 2019, the research shows that men are actually 70 something percent more than women. But now biological sciences has more girls. Okay, biological sciences. So I'm actually looking at the STEM, there are many, about 60 to 75%. Good. I'm impressed to see that more women are taking up more roles in STEM, science, technology, and all. I'm impressed. I'm really very impressed. Really, it's a change. It's a change. It's a mindset shift. Really, I'm very impressed. Thank you so much for sharing that with me. So yes, in your faculty or in your department, biological sciences, you notice that women are more represented. What do you think is a cause? What do you think, what do you think led to the increment of women in science related courses? Because then you would hear, oh, you want to be an engineer, it's only for men, or maths, further maths. Please just leave it for them. Already you begin to see things like, oh, these hard courses are for the guys, the simple courses are for the ladies. So right now, what shifts do you think happened to create awareness for more women to be more inclined in science related courses and science departments? What do you think happened? I want to read like I said that this session is highly interactive. I'm not using the lecturing style. I'm using the facilitating style. Increased enlightenment of the relevance of women in the field of science. Yes, so there was an advocacy, or okay, enlightenment of the relevance of women in the field of science. Amazing, amazing. So more women were encouraged to go towards science related subjects. Even coding now, I'm seeing many ladies in coding. I'm seeing many ladies interested in tech related activities. I'm seeing them. Some people are saying, oh, they want to go into this, they want to go in. I'm like, impressive. And which is why we're also, saying that as much as we are also, yes, so women in tech, exactly, women in tech, which is why we're also saying that we're quite enlightened, because we're in an urban area where, Lagos is an urbanized area. But look at rural area women, people that are living in, suburbs, like in areas that they really have access to education. They really have access to enlightenment programs. Look at such women and look at their thinking pattern, which is why we are saying that for Women's Day, women who are at the top levels of society, open the doors for women coming behind you. Don't let this mindset of, do you know what I went through to get to this position? It should stop. This mindset of, if you know what I went through to get to this position, then you must also go through the turmoil or the stress. No. The fact that you've broken through barriers to get to a particular position means that you should make it easy for the next generation of women coming behind you. Thank you, Taye, for accessing my slides. Okay, so let's look at the slides before that, before the key concepts on gender. Let's look at the slides before that, please. Good. Let's look at inequality. If you can zoom the picture, I hope everybody can see this picture. I hope you can all see the picture that is being good, amazing. So let's look at the definition of let's look at it. Look at the pictures there. Let's look at the pictures to be able to understand the concepts easily. So inequality talks about unequal access to opportunities. Look at that tree. Look at the mango tree or the apple tree that is there. You see that even though they were standing at different places, the apple tree did not face the person on the right hand side. You can see that it only favored, from my answer, it only favored the person on the left hand side, right? So that's inequality. Bring it down to real life scenarios. Some of us, our parents were privileged to train us, take us to good schools, and whether it's government schools, we should have got education, right? But however, some people do not have access to education. And it's not because they do not want to read. It's not because they don't want to be better citizens. They do not just have the access. And which is why we're proposing for the government. We're saying to them that, look, Go to rural areas, go to places where they do not have the right mechanisms. Maternal health, many women are dying. Go to poverty-stricken areas. Go and give them this light, right? Let's look at equality. So we've defined inequality as unequal access to opportunities, unequal access to roles, unequal access to resources, unequal access to the privileges. Let's look at equality. Talks about evenly distributed tools and assistance. So look at it. Equality has provided the same platform to say that, you know what, men and women, I've given you access to education. So you see a father says to his children, Taye and Kehinde, I've given you people access. I'm in this concept, I'm using male and female. I've given you access to equal opportunity. We've paid your school fees. We've ensured that you people are going to school. Please go. They've paid it for you. However, when you go to school, the ability to comprehend what your father math teacher is saying to Taye is different from Kehinde's comprehension level. So for Taye might not need extra tutorials to understand further maths, but Kehinde would need extra tutorials to understand further maths. That's where equity comes in. Equality says that, you know what, I've sent you both to school. I've paid for your school fees. Go and access the same level of lecturing. Go and access the teachers. But it doesn't necessarily understand the disadvantages that may be peculiar to each individuals. That's where equity comes in. Equity says, you know what? Why don't you understand further maths? I think Taye needs extracurricular lessons. I think she needs more coaching regarding this. Equality does not look at the extra coaching. It just gives you equal access and opportunities. Harness it. Now, bring it down to disability, people that are disabled. You cannot say that, you see a disabled person and you see someone who has both feet, and you tell them, well, this is pedestrian crossing. You people can cross. You can't say that the amount of time it will take someone who has feet to walk will be the same time it takes someone who is able to walk. Yes, you're giving them equality, but it's not equity. Equity is saying that the government is going to create a specific and special way for disabled people to have equal access to crossing the road. Yes. So you see BRT lanes in Lagos, and you see that BRT lanes have been given privileged opportunities. That's equity. Equality means that everybody is on the road. Different sizes of cars are driving, right? We're all going to the same destination. But equity says that, you know what? I want to give preference to this particular set of people due to certain things so that it will be easy for them to, ply the road. That's equity. And which is why we don't just fight for equality, we also fight for equity, because we understand that as much as opportunities can be evenly distributed, the tools to harness each individual's best capacity may not be reached with equality, but with equity can be reached. So let's look at leadership now, and we say that, well, women should, like the speaker before me mentioned, 35% of women, in politics. So Federal High Court said that we should give 35% of women, they told the Nigerian government, that the Federal High Court told the Nigerian government that, you know what, 35% of women must be involved in politics, right? But the truth is, how many women understand leadership? How many women are well equipped to lead? How many women understand the concept behind nation building? How many women how many women are even emotionally intelligent? How many women understand that leadership goes beyond your emotions? How many women can harness the opportunities given to them? So while we clamor for equality, equity says, you know what? As much as 35% has been given to women in leadership positions, how do we now prepare these women for that 35%? That's where equity comes in. Equity says, you know what, let's begin to hold leadership trainings. Let's go to this community. Let's begin to make women think. What kind of change do they want to see in their local government areas? What kind of change do they want to see in their locality, in their school settings, in their constitution, in their school settings? What do they want to see? How can we train them to become better leaders? That's equity. That's equity. Justice talks about fixing the system so that equality is achieved. Remember that equity will always lead to equality. When you give people the right tools, you are achieving equality. Next slide, please. I hope I'm making sense, guys. Key concepts on gender. Gender refers to roles that I've explained it before. For gender, you're not born with it, but it's learned. Gender means that it's learned. There are automatic things that you just take upon. You just take it on you. It's look at your society. Even look at the way you were trained as a child. Look at the way your parents trained you. You just say, in my father's house, they trained us to be. That's gender. In my society, in Lekki, we act this way. In Mushin, Omogboro, you see them say this, that is gender. Nobody says that because you're a Mushin, you must be Wosobi. And nobody says that because you're in Lekki, you must be Tush. If gender that has put rules that once you get to a Tush environment, you just lock up. You say, well, you know what? I'm in Lekki, I need to act. You go to Mushi, you say, you know, that kind of. So it's gender, and these are roles that society has said you must behave this way. And on learning, you've taken it upon ourselves to act in a certain way that society said we must act. And it varies. I said that before, that across different societies, cultures. Recently I was looking at the Saudi Arabia rule. I think it was just 2018. 2018 was when women were allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia. 2018 was when women were given the liberty. They signed it into bill. And you know what? Go and drive car in 2018, when Nigeria has already moved. If you look at also developing, the developed nations, and you look at their constitution compared to our constitution, you're going to see lots of gap, right? And so it just shows that we have lots of, we have things to accomplish. We have lots of things to do. Let's go to the next slide, please. I've explained gender equality. Please, next slide. I've explained that already, please. Examples, I've explained the examples. Okay, so I've actually explained that. I'm looking for the picture, but that's fine. Next slide, please. So looking at the fact sheet, I don't know if it's you can zoom it. Looking at the fact sheet of women in, look at it in sub-Saharan, just look at it, African country. Just look at the fact sheet there, and look at the rank of Nigeria for women in parliament. I find this very interesting. If you can zoom it, or if this can be taken to you, you can see it. There's a huge gap for women. Look at Nigeria. Nigeria is ranked 4.4%. Rwanda has over 60-something%. Then look at Congo. Congo, that they are fighting in Congo. Currently, they are fighting in Congo. Congo has about over 10% of women's presence in parliament. I mean, Congo is fighting. I'm not even looking at any other African country. I'm looking at Congo, that they are fighting at the moment. Congo has over 10% of women in parliament. Nigeria has 4.4%. In fact, some sites and some data even reveal that it's even less than 4.4%. So this fact sheet is even fair with even giving women's representation. Next slide, please. This also reveals Nigeria's involvement of women. So we currently have about over 460 something or 70 something legislative seats. Over 400. Over 467, yes. 467 legislative seats, and only 18 women occupy 18 seats. It's quite alarming. It's quite alarming because there's more work to be done. Next slide, please. I'm going to be fast as much as possible. I've explained this. I've explained it. Next slide, please. So look at equality and equity. This is just a representation. Equality provides equal platforms, equal opportunities. They provide it and they say to you, you know what? I'm giving you guys equal opportunity, but you're going to see the disadvantages because someone who is disadvantaged cannot see the football match. Someone who is also a bit short cannot totally see it. So equity says, you know what? I'm going to give you tools. That's what equity provides tools to ensure that equality is achieved. Equity provides tools. Equity identifies the shortcomings in this person. You know what? These women, they lack this. Let's give them this. Oh, these women, they lack this. Let's give them this leadership. They lack resources in, business IQ. They need to be equipped business-wise. Let's equip them, business-wise. And so once you identify what a society, what a community needs, you are able to profile equality. Equity will always lead to equality, actually. But equality may not give you the tools, will not even give you the tools. It just gives you the platforms. Equity gives you the tools, which is why I had to use this representation because it just lets you understand equity. But I also advocate for equity. Next slide, please. Thank you, Taye. Thank you. So now I've put a question to you. How will you promote gender equality or equity in your community? Many times we wait and we say that, oh, I'm not a senator. I'm not in House of Rep. I am not even in an LGA chairman. I am not even part of this, But within your sphere of influence, within your own community, within your department, within your where you live, where you are domiciled, what can you do to promote gender equality? I want to see your answers. You may not have a full overview of what you can do, but I want to see. I want to know how the thinking, how, if you understand what I've been saying. So what are you going to do to promote gender equality in your own sphere? Because many times we think that it's the big things that make the big changes. No, it's the little things that we do every day. The little things as much as identifying a change in your streets, identifying a change in your community, speaking up for women. I'm privileged where I see there was a particular scenario where a man and his wife, where the man was the driver, the wife was the conductor. And I saw the way the man was talking to his wife in that bus. This thing happened several years ago. Okay. AB says, encouraging women to participate and put themselves forward to, I want to read it. AB said, encouraging women to participate and put themselves forward for tasks and activities and sharing opportunities with them and helping them with applications. Superb. Great. I want to see more people's responses, please. More people's response. So as I was saying, so I saw that this man was driving and the wife was the one collecting money as conductor. And you needed to have seen the way he was speaking to his wife. Very harsh, derogatory. Hey, I was holding myself. I said, hey, they will ask yourself, why can't you mind your business? Nigerians can mind. Have you noticed that Nigerians can mind their business? They can mind their business when they're not supposed to mind their business. You can see people fighting. A man is beating a woman. And then just say, well, King Temi, they just face their fronts and mind their business. So this particular day, I was holding myself and I said, when we got to the last final destination, I saw a police. I told the man, I said, I'm going to hand you over to the police for violence, emotional violence, psychological violence. By the time I finished talking in that bus, I'm sure that man will be like, who is this woman, Seth? Because I've held it and I was just thinking, how do I convey to this man that this is violence? You don't need to beat a woman before you say it's violence. This is emotional violence. You're condescending to her. You are making derogatory remarks publicly to her. And do you know what? Why can't you get a male conductor? Why are you putting your ego and tarnishing her image publicly? And I had to really explain to him that what you are doing, sir, is wrong. And this woman could not say a word. She was quiet all through while I was speaking. All through the man was speaking. She just sat down. And I said to myself, how many women are going through these things, this gender-based violence? Lack of access to education, lack of access to opportunities, lack of access to economic opportunities would lead to gender-based violence. When women are seen as an afterthought, as seen as, you know what, your value is in the kitchen. Your value, your worth only comes from the kitchen or the home. It's important that we are homekeepers, but it's important to know that we have equal opportunities to even become the president of a country. And so please, many women may not be enlightened. Many women may not even have opportunity to this audio or to this video or to this webinar. But please, in your various sphere of influence, break down this knowledge to women, the market women. Let them see their worth. Let them see opportunities that, you know what, you can actually become a chairman of the market women in this community. Or really market women, you can go and vie for position to become the head of the market women. Let them see their worth. Begin to go out. Don't be among people that would look at a woman. It's even funny because the women, we rally around women when they want to give birth. We say, it's a woman. Oh, even when we see a woman in a public bus, we say, that's a woman, Georgia. You even hear things like, what they say, it's oh something. They say like, they just say it when they want to come down from the bus. They say, something like that. Sorry, forgive me for my Yoruba thing. They say it, letting that, look, we are pregnant, so take it easy on us. So they even support women that are pregnant. They say, please, take it easy. But when it comes to women supporting women in leadership and saying, you know what, this woman wants to go for House of Rep, you hear things like, what does she know? Where's her track record? Where's her grassroots mechanism? What does she know about Nigeria's political system? Okay, what is the history of Nigeria? Does she even know? So you see, people, when it comes to pregnancy, we support ourselves. But when it comes to pushing women and saying, you know what, I'm behind you, go and vie for Senate role. Even look at the last election that we did, how many years ago? Look at the last election. How many women did you support? Not because you cannot support them, because you just thought that Kilomore, what does she know? So I think that, not even I think, that IQ, that derogatory remarks must shut down. We must, even within our school settings, take up leadership positions. Welfare department, welfare head of this, speaking, being a speaker, put yourself in the lights, develop your skills, put yourself out there. Because if you do not begin to take up roles within your locality, how do you want to take up roles in Nigeria? So how do you want to do it? And Nigeria is highly patriarchal. Nigeria is a patriarchal society. It is. That's why we are pushing for reforms. We are pushing for this special seats bill. Recently, the special seats bill has been put in place to say that, you know what, look, give women opportunities. You are the one that signed the Beijing bill, like what our last speaker said. You signed it 30 years ago. September 4th to 15th is going to make it 30 years. You signed it 30 years ago that you want to be committed to women's rights. They did not force you. You signed it. So if you signed it, why is there no implementation of these bills? Why are you not implementing the bills? This year talks about accelerate action. We are saying we have lots of paperwork. We have lots of meetings. But now we are saying to the Nigerian government, please, we are pleading with you, implement these policies that would advance the roles of women in the society. Parents, break inequality in your home. Advance equality. Give men the same chance you will give women. Don't demarcate roles. Give them, enhance them. And that's why I say to young people that even if your parents don't promote gender equality, you are the next generation of parents. Break that pattern and begin to, amongst your nieces, your siblings, begin to let them know that, look, you're a guy, you can do this. A woman, you can do this. There's no special privilege. There's none like that. Do what you need to do to advance the country. So that's all. Let's look at inequalities in Nigeria, educational inequalities. We've seen it. It's evidence. The dropout of children in Nigeria is alarming. COVID alone, the dropout was high. The educational inequalities out of school children, the dropout was so high. Healthcare inequalities, maternal sector, it needs to be looked into. Which year was that there was a young lady, I think it was 2021, because I actually I did advocacy for that young lady on my social media platform. This young lady, she entered an elevator. I'm not sure if you can remember this scenario, please remind me. She entered an elevator and the elevator malfunctioned and she died. We put advocacy, and this is a government institution. And we kept saying to ourselves that this is an inequality in the healthcare sector. We can't count how many people have lost their lives as a result of negligence. So, as a result of negligence, and we say, oh, if only there was oxygen, if only we had the gynecologist attend to the woman, she would not have died. Do you know how many pregnant women we've lost in this country as a result of inequality? Actually, healthcare inequality. What of social inequality? Lots of inequality. So just as I'm mentioning these inequalities in Nigeria, think about what you have even experienced as a person, as a woman, and how it has even shaped your mindset. This talk today is to bring you out of it and to say that no, it is not normal. Don't accept a dysfunction to be normal. Economic inequalities, gender pay gap. You see people will post, those job adverts. I have seen it. They will post it on the walkway. Now they are giving it as bills. Then they will post it and they will say, factory workers. I remember they will say factory workers needed. Then they will put men, the money, the same amount of hours, but they will pay men more than the women. I don't know what they're doing. I don't understand. And I'll be like, why are you guys comfortable posting such inequality? There's been such a pay gap. While there are some organizations that are doing well, there are many organizations that are promoting equality in their institutions, in their parastatals. Government parastatals are doing well. Educationally, they are doing well. There's still more work to be done. As much as we celebrate people that are promoting equity and equality, we are saying that there's still more work to be done. I go to secondary schools, I go to universities, and I'm going to close with this. I have a sessional trainings with students across various secondary schools and universities. I go to mostly Accord. And there was a time I was running a program in UNILAG. I'm not sure if you people heard Yabatech. For UNILAG, we did it was employability skills we did with Lagos State government for UNILAG. We did it with Lagos State government for employability skills. I don't know if you've heard of 50-50 before, gender equality. We did that campaign for years in Yabatech, in Accord, Laspo Tech. We did it across various places. I was handling Yabatech and Accord. My colleagues were handling Laspo Tech and other places. And we observed that some young ladies in relationships didn't know that it was wrong for their boyfriends to beat them. So they would come to class and we'll talk about gender-based violence, we'll talk about romantic relationships, platonic relationships, we'll talk about them. And because it was a safe space, we had them say that, so one even said that she aborted for a guy. And she didn't say anything, she just felt, when you don't know. So I don't blame them, which is why they usually open up, because there's no judgmental zone. I don't judge anybody because they don't know, actually. Some didn't know that it was wrong for a guy to beat you. They stayed there. By the time I asked him, that, why did you stay? Why are you there? They were in the relationship. Why are you in the relationship? They said, oh, in their homes, their fathers used to beat their mother. So they thought it was a normal thing for a guy to beat them. And I said, it is wrong. It's not normal. It's not normal. It's a dysfunctional thing in the society. If your parents beat your mother, it's not a guy to beat you. It's wrong on all levels. Then we started mindset shifts. Worth, you are valuable. We took them through the the flowers of gender-based violence, how the guy will slap you and beat you and come and give you flowers and give you car. He will dash you car. After the car, he will give you and he will punch you. You are admitted in the hospital. And the next time he'll give you a higher gift. He will not give you maybe 100, maybe he'll give you $1,000. Then the dollars will now make you forget the pain. Then he comes again and gives you. Do you know how many women have lost their lives from the cycle of domestic violence? So I say to them that the reason why you're even accepting such things and staying in such pain, they will tell you that it's better to cry in Lamborghini. I say it's not better. It's because you are not empowered. If you're empowered to be financially independent, if you're empowered to know your worth, if you're empowered to know that you are valuable, you will not sit in that kind of relationship. You will not. So please, this talk must not end here. Let's take it around to our friends, to our communities. Let's keep speaking and saying to them, you know what? We support you. We see you. We want to ensure that you are better versions of yourselves in the society. And we are breaking the barrier, that bias, that barrier, that stereotypical mindset that is already ingrained in the hearts of men. We are breaking it down to we are breaking the norms and we are shattering those norms and saying that no, women too are valuable in society with respect. When we're not doing it with disrespect, we're not rude, but we are doing it with respect and honor, taking our place where we ought to take our place. Thank you so much for having me, Taye. It was yes, such an honor to be here always. Now, if my conclusion says that women, you are smart, you are strong, you are worthy, and you are powerful. Happy International Women's Day, everyone, again. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Olanike Ogechi. We really appreciate. I enjoyed your section very well. And like I told the first speaker, they can drop their questions now, but once the third speaker is on, we would try our possible best to take all questions together. Thank you very much. And I have your slide. I hope I am free to send it to the ladies for them to still go over it, ma'am. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So our third speaker is currently on set, and I've not met her before, but I want her to know that ma, I love you and I would love to work with you. This is an open air job. I'd love to work with you after school. So Miss Senator Olafare Comfort is currently online. Without because I've taken part of our time already. I read your profile, but I would just to say it that Senator Olafare Comfort is an advocate, he's a motivational speaker and a mentor who has inspired many in Nigeria and beyond, specializing in governance, media, and self-development. Before she takes over from me, I would love to appreciate Right Honorable Sheikh. He was the former speaker, like I think 2 sets back, and he's currently here. I'm sure he does not know that I know, sir. You are welcome, sir. I'm honored to have you here. You are welcome. Over to you, Senator Comfort. You're welcome, ma'am.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Can anybody hear me?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Oh, okay, that's fine. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I honestly do not take it for granted. And then I would like to ask, how many minutes do I have? Because you actually didn't communicate that to me.
Okay, ma, you have 35 minutes, ma'am.
Oh, that's a lot. Okay, that's fine. So I was asked to speak about empowerment. So I'll be talking about empowerment for all women and girls. But to start with, Happy International Women's Day to you all. If you can hear me, you have to unmute yourself and also respond. So say it to everyone on the call. Happy International Women's Day. Can I hear everybody echo it?
Happy
Happy International
National
Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Yeah, Happy International Women's Day. Happy International Women's Day. Amazing. So we all know that today is International Women's Day. How do we feel about it? Do we feel special? Do we feel we shouldn't be having something like this? Do we feel it's something that we should always have and look forward to? Can I hear your view about that? Can you all hear me?
Yes, ma, we can hear you. Well, I
Okay.
feel very happy though. Like another month for us to be celebrated like every week.
Oh, amazing. That's sweet. Any other person? I
Yeah,
don't
I
want to
feel
be.
excited.
Okay.
I feel excited. Today's our
Amazing.
day. Let's
Yes,
shine.
so
Let's shine.
yes, so does that mean that every day is not our day except today? So any other
No,
person?
it doesn't mean no,
Let
but
me
at
let me take
least,
just two more. Okay, it doesn't mean, but at least like we are having special celebration, right?
yes, yes, a day
Okay.
that is marked for us. That's very nice.
Okay, amazing, amazing. Okay, so let me have just one or two more persons and we are done. I will move to the next thing. Another person? Okay.
Good afternoon. I feel
Good afternoon.
excited that we have seen as attraction for today. The focus of today.
The excitement, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, correct. Okay. So one last person and we move from there. One last person. Does that mean we have just three women on this call? One last person and we move.
It makes me feel special as being a woman.
Amazing. Correct. Thank you so much. So everyone who answered, you've all answered well. There's no wrong there or right answer. I just like it when we engage. So it helps everyone to have something to say. It helps everyone to have an idea of what we're talking about. And it helps people to say what you have on your mind because most times when you answer questions, you might not be right, but then you are saying something. And before you know it, you get to know what is right and what is wrong. So for everyone who has answered, you've all said the right thing. You're all correct. So today is International Women's Day, basically to celebrate women because you would agree with me to a large extent that we're in a society where the women are considered to be helpmates, where the women are seen to be inferior, where the women are seen to be less important kind of and all those things. But thankfully we are having platforms like this to talk about it, to address it, and to make people know that women are not slaves, women are not meant for the kitchen only, women are meant to be everywhere, including at the ends of affairs, as it has to do with the economy and every other thing. And that will lead me to the topic where I'll be speaking about empowerment for all women and girls. So first, let's define what empowerment means. It is simply about, as to, I'll be using my definition as to women. You know, we are talking about women. So pardon me. It's about us. It's not about everybody. We are divine. We are special. So I'll be speaking to us. So when we are talking about empowerment, it's about giving women and girls the tools, confidence, and opportunities to reach their full potential. So it simply means that helping women, helping girls to attain, to have what is needed for them to what to reach their full potentials. So the tools, it can be in form of, let's say, someone who learn a skill, or someone who already learned something. I would like to venture into the business and does not have the capacity or stuff like that. So it is either you are giving skills or you are giving tools, basically to build confidence and opportunity. So most times, a lot of people feel like, why do I need to build confidence and opportunity again? I know this thing, I can do it and that. But let me tell you something. There's this saying that what you do not have, you cannot offer. it is applicable to wisdom too. It is applicable to life itself, because it's just like having people talk about a certain topic and you don't know about it. How do you want to contribute? If even if you open your mouth to contribute without knowing anything about it, you will say something out of box entirely. So you can see that empowerment is really important if we want women to attain the financial freedom and stability we are talking about. The financial freedom and stability men are occupying the space. We also need women to occupy that space. And to occupy it, we need to be empowered. So why is empowerment important? Why does it matter? So empowered women contribute to stronger families, better economies, and a more just society. Take a look at Ibukun Awosika. She's a legend. Look at her. She's occupying that space not just because she knows how to speak best, but because she's not just speaking without results. She has the results. So most times, what another thing we need to understand is that without results, your experience might not be considered important. It might not be considered relevant. But when you have results, then when you speak, people know that, oh, she's not just talking because she wants to talk, or she's not just talking because she feels the need to blab or something, but she's talking because she has experienced it, she has results to show for it, and now she's coming to talk about it so that other women can also learn from her, other girls can emulate her. And that is why when she talks, she's full of confidence. She has the charisma. She's always bold because she has been through it. So whenever she's talking, people want to listen to her, not because she she has to earth, or because she has, or because she was created specially, not by God, but another God. That was a Lenita note. I'm just trying to lay emphasis on that. But because she has results, there is evidence. Like there's this slang one time, people will say, you go explain tire, you go explain, no evidence. So that's just it. So why is it important for women and girls to be empowered? It is important because when women are empowered, they'll contribute to stronger families. If you take a look at it, a lot of women are being bullied, they are going through abuse in their marriage, but they cannot leave because they are not empowered. They have this mentality of, if I leave, how would I cope, how would I survive? I remember being in a relationship that was it's over a year now, and I remember that I was being bullied in the relationship, I was being abused in the relationship, and I'm like, is this the kind of life I want to live? Mind you, that relationship offered me almost everything I wanted. You know, my partner he was a cheerful giver. I can wake up one morning and just see a transfer of 1 million naira in my account and him telling me, just use it to take care of yourself. I can wake up and I'll see another transfer of, go and get yourself outfits and all those stuffs. But guess what? I was experiencing abuse in that relationship. And there was a day I said, I needed to just leave this relationship. And at some point, another thought came to mind. Hey, I know you are a strong woman. I know you're a career woman. I know you are progressing in your career. But do you think you can just wake up any day and just see someone just dash you 1 million naira or 2 million naira or 5 million naira? Or someone just say, I want to buy you a car. Somebody just say, I want to buy you a house, just like that? Don't you think you should just continue no matter the abuse? It's something that after it happens, you can go over it and just manage yourself. And I'm like, really? So I'll be in a relationship where I get almost everything, but I am not mentally stable. I had to leave. I left the relationship. It's over a year now. I had to leave. But look at it. I could make that decision because I am empowered, because I have my own skills. I do not depend on a man. Just imagine those who depend on men. How do you expect them to cope? How do you expect them to survive? And then we need more women to, because we need more women to be empowered because of our economics. Because most times when they are talking about economy and they are talking about other things, financial stability and everything, most times women are not always there because women are not financially capable. I'm not saying all women, but few. And take a look at it. How do we expect more women to be part of the financial decision making process when we do not have more women empowered and equipped? We do not have more women with the skills. I'll be giving some facts. I'll be using both political and other aspect of it. I'll be giving some facts. We'll get there soon. So today is not just about celebration, but about action. Like we have the theme, accelerate action. How we can ensure women and girls have equal opportunities. So beyond today's celebration, let's think about it. Let's sit down in our own corner. Let's reach out. How do we think we can help women to take action? How am I taking action as an individual? How can others also take action to be empowered? How can we go about it? What skill do we need to learn? It's high time that we started thinking of some of these things, if not all. So key aspects of empowerment: economic empowerment. Women's financial independence leads to poverty reduction and stronger communities. We all know that poverty is on the high side, but how can we reduce poverty? By ensuring that women are financially independent, because this will lead to drastic reduction of poverty, and it will help us to build stronger communities. Very important. By encouraging entrepreneurship, skill acquisition, and digital literacy. Most times people say that there are no job opportunities, but I stand firm to tell you that there are job opportunities, but a lot of people are not employable. And how do I mean by that? We are in the technological world. We are in the world where it's no longer manual but digital. Knowing fully well that we are in a digital economy, how are you equipping yourself to fit into that kind of economy? How are you equipping yourself to fit into that kind of space? How are you equipping yourself to be ready to take up opportunities? I remember just last week, someone reached out to me and the person was like, "Comfort, please, I want to, I need people to employ." And the person gave me the criteria. Imagine, just to be a social media manager. Because I am a social media manager, I manage social media accounts for businesses, for individuals, and I do media strategy and consultants for people. So when the woman reached out to me, okay, this is a woman, another man also reached out to me. So when the woman reached out to me, I had it on my status. I posted it like almost everywhere, but a lot of people do not even have that skill. And we know that we're in a global world. Of course, I understand that. Oh, I'm a dentist, I'm a nurse, a doctor. What do I need social media for? What do I need all of these skills for? Trust me, you also need to be equipped. You also need to have these skills, because you never can tell where you meet yourself in the medical space, whereby you might need to just stand in for someone. And that singular act of standing in for someone can earn you millions of naira and take you where you've never expected and make you a global phenomenon. So imagine that kind of opportunity being available and you are not available to take up the opportunity, not because you were not present, not because you were not there, but because you do not have the skills required. Even, I don't know if anybody knows Aproko Doctor. Do you?
Yes, please.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
great.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Great. Great. Do you know that even as a doctor, Aproko Doctor is an influencer? He comes
Yes.
online to educate people on what they should do and what they should not do, on things people have always done, seen as what is right, but are actually wrong. That attracted a lot of followers, a number of people to start following him. Now, you people, House of Representatives member, of course, you should think about it in the political space. How do I intend to be relevant? I know not all of you are in the political space, but I've used the doctor, I'm using politics, and I'll use a lot more. Just imagine yourself. Okay, let me cite an example. Left for me, I studied mass communication in the university, Lagos State University to be precise. And after that, before even going to study mass communication, I've always been into politics. I've always been there as far as politics is concerned. And then after studying mass communication, so I asked myself, how do I want to match these two together? politics, mass communication. For mass communication, I've always dreamt of being a presenter. I've always dreamt of, had I had that dream of being a presenter. I had that dream of being um, someone who people look up to say, oh, media guru and everything. And then I love politics. The only reason why I love politics is because I love to give back to my community. That is the only reason why I'm in politics. And then I hate to hear people say that because you are a female gender, you cannot do it. I don't like words like that. It gets me really upset. And I won't fight you. I will just prove to you that you are wrong. So to cut the long story short, then I started to equip myself with needed skills for me to juggle politics and media together, blend it into each other, get money from it, remain relevant in the space, and still be recognized both in the media space and in the political space. Trust me, that was all. That was a turnaround for me. I won't lie to you. Because after I made the decision, I was out of school, a graduate, so I just decided to, okay, this is what I want to do next. Let me go for training. Let me go for training now to become a good presenter. Let me go for training let me go for training online. I registered with different places. Okay, on how to be a brand strategist, a social media manager, an influencer, all of those things. I paid for some I just went online to browse out some information and everything. When the opportunity came, I could fit in. While I was preparing myself, there was no opportunities, but I was preparing myself for an opportunity I'd never seen, I'd never heard of, I'd never seen, but I've always thought of. So most times the issue is always that we are not always prepared for opportunities. We just want a motivational speaker to come and motivate us. After the motivational speaker leaves, that's the end of it. You even forget everything the motivational speaker has mentioned. You continue with your lifestyle. No. Like I tell people, most times people don't create space for you. You have to take your chair to that space they're having. You create your own space. Because there are always spaces if you can create one for yourself. So little did I know that I was going to work with chairman of a local government as his SA on new media, where I manage all his media accounts. Little did I know that while I was still there, the senator representing Lagos East Senatorial District was going to call me to come and become his digital media person too, and his legislative assistant. Little did I know. But what helped me? I was prepared. So imagine that when all of those offers and opportunities came around, I wasn't prepared. Mind you, it doesn't stop me from being in the political space. Look at it. I'm being paid for doing my media job, but I am working with politicians. I'm still in the political space. So they already know me for who I am, that, oh, she is a media person, a media strategist, and she's a politician. So if politicians are looking for who to be a media strategist for them, they think of me. So I want you to think of it yourself. When people are thinking of one thing or the other, are they going to ever think of me? So how do you want to be financially independent? How do you want to be empowered if you are not preparing yourself to be one? Mind you, I am a caterer by profession. As a matter of fact, a chef, a registered one. I have my business account. I get jobs from state, from federal, from individuals, from different angles and corners. This month, we have taken orders of over 1,000 small jobs, and we've had outdoor events for over 700 people, 700 guests, 700K. The last one we did that was takeaway was 1.5. So imagine all of this, and I do my 9 to 5. I get paid for my 9 to 5. I do my side hustle, creating content for people, managing media accounts for people. I get paid for that. And I still do my chef thing. As a caterer, I have my staff working with me that I pay them. And I still get my money from all of this. So tell me, when they are talking like one one man was saying, he said it jokingly, but I addressed him almost immediately. He said, Comfort, when are you getting married? I said, I just choosing late comer. I'm not picking late comer now. I'll get married. If I don't get married this year, I'll get married next year. If I don't get married next year, I'll get married upper year. One thing for sure is that I will eventually get married. And it was like, so he now mentioned one person, and I'm like, oh, that's my brother. He said he knows that that kind of person cannot be my boyfriend. That me, I have my money, I have my this. So he started to analyze everything himself. That is to tell you that guys also like to associate with women who are empowered, who knows their onions. You need to know your onions. Encourage entrepreneurship. It's not too late. Some of you are thinking that I'm in the university already. I will soon be a graduate. I will soon be done with school. I do not have any entrepreneurship skill. Won't it be too late for me to go now and go and learn a skill? My dear, it is never too late until it is too late. The only time it is too late is when you are dead. So as much as you are still alive, it is never too late. Who else knows of a professor who became a professor at the age of, I think, 60 something, 70 something, or 80 something? I can't really remember. The the oldest professor, like that was the age he became a professor. The most important thing is that he still became that professor. So it doesn't matter the age. Maybe at 50, at 70. Haven't you seen some people who say life begins at 70? Because they started to become great at 70. So they believe that that's life for them. So I don't want you to be discouraged. Go and learn a skill. Don't let anybody deceive you. Learn a skill. Encourage entrepreneurship, skill acquisition, and digital literacy. Some people don't even know how to use Microsoft Word, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft PowerPoint. You don't know how to use all of those things. How do you want to be relevant anywhere you find yourself? You can always smile your teeth. People know you are friendly, but if you are not relevant, they will choose someone who is relevant above you. They will only remember you when it is time for fun and not of value. But when you are a value-adding person, they will tell you, oh, this person, oh, this person. I still represent the youth. I'm the deputy chairman of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Lagos State chapter. I'm not representing just Ikorodu, I'm representing the entire Lagos State. I'm not saying all of this to brag, but I'm letting you know that nothing stops you from becoming great. You are your only enemy. You are your only enemy. Nobody is your enemy. Not even your mother, not even your father, not even your friends who envy you. You are your own enemy. Because the moment you decide to stop, everything about you would stop. And the moment you decide to go, everything about you goes with you. I remember an interview and people were asking me, how did you do it? How that? I think you came from a rich background. That is why everything is rosy for you. And I smiled. I remember I met a girl when I went for evangelism. I think that was 2 or 3 weeks ago. I attended Avestas International Christian Center, Ikodu campus. So I went for evangelism. And during the evangelism, I saw a girl, very small girl. She was walking. And when I stopped her to talk to her, and I told her, I said, see, my dear, now I have my own car and I have my own other things, and to an extent, God has really helped me. Let me tell you something. Because you are walking now does not mean you will walk for life. You just need to use your sense while you are walking. I said, more than 20, 25, 30, 50 times, I hugged bread for my grandmother. I would carry bread. Era bread, no bread. Buy your bread. I was hawking bread for my grandmother. Most times, like all the times I go to my grandmother's place, is basically to go and support her so that she can get money, so that I can also get money to eat from when I am at her place. So don't let anybody deceive you, my dear. Don't let anybody make you feel that it's too late for you. Don't let that decision, I don't know, but I'm sure Holy Spirit cannot tell a lie. Somebody listening to me now, something is going through your mind but it's too late. Look at my age. I should have made that decision since, but it's too late. Please, for God's sake, it's not late. You can still become who you want to become. Rome was not built in a day. So give it time, nurture it, nurse it, and let it grow. So educational empowerment. Education is a powerful tool for breaking barriers. Some people said to me one time that education is a scam. I told them, let it scam me. Education is a scam. I agree. Let it scam me. Because there are certain things that when you are not educated, you can't know. You can't relate. Oh, relate. Oh, like, sing. Oh, you get it. It can't sing. Education is important because it's a powerful tool. Have you ever seen any organization or any institution not being concerned about education when they want to promote you? They play. Okay, you're thinking some people they will accept you without looking at your educational background. Let it get to the aspect of promotion. They will look at your ratings, they will look at everything, and then they will look at your qualifications. Even the political space, they look at qualifications. Why do you think a lot of politicians go back to school to get master's degree, to get PhD, to get other professional qualifications? It is in a play, no be play, my dear. Get ready for it. It is either you are ready or you are not ready. There's nothing like I'm ready, I want to relax before I'll be ready again. The moment you are relaxing, some people are passing you. You have to, when you now come back, you start afresh. So just take everything at once. Once you are done, you rest. Rest, my sister, but now is not the time to rest. So you don't have to work when you are meant to be resting. Support STEM education and leadership training for young girls. Advocate for access to scholarships, mentorship, and lifelong learning. Now let's go to the social and political empowerment. Women belong at decision-making tables. More women in leadership means more inclusive policies. No lies about this, because if we do not have more women in politics, it's really gonna affect the decision-making in the political space. And that's very correct, because imagine you want to pass a bill or a motion about female gender in the house, and you have less representation, and you want to start agitating that no, more women should be allowed in, more women should be acknowledged, this, that, this, that. My dear, do not be deceived. Let me give you the statistics. You can find it online. It's everywhere. 3.6% of National Assembly seats are held by women. Out of 100%, just 3.6%. Only 4 out of 109 senators and 9 deputy governors nationwide are women. You can do your follow-up to confirm my statistics. Globally, we've seen examples that can inspire us. Rwanda, women hold 61.3% of parliamentary seats, thanks to constitutional gender quota. Mexico, parity laws mandate 50% female candidates, achieving 50% representation in its parliament in 2021. South Africa, women occupy 45% of parliamentary seats, supported by voluntary gender quotas in major political parties. Nigeria, how many do we have? We have 3.6% National Assembly, and 4 out of 109 senators, National Assembly, the Senate, and 9 deputy governors nationwide. Now let me put it forward to you. There has been this bill, special seats bill, to include more women, but was rejected. The question I have to ask you is, have you ever come to think of it that if we add more women in the House, this bill wouldn't have been rejected? Am I correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Do you also agree with me that if we have more women in the National Assembly, the Senate, we won't be having 3.6% out of 100 and just 4 out of 109 senators? Do you agree with me that if we have more women, it wouldn't be like that?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Now, what am I trying to say? It all lies on us. We are all involved. It's our collective responsibilities. Do not let anybody make you feel less concerned about these pressing issues. Because there is one thing, if you say that it's not directly affecting me now, the time is coming where you will be directly affected. So I want to implore us, we all need to get involved. We all need to get involved in all sectors. I'm not asking you to compulsorily go for politics. Neither am I asking you to compulsorily go for business. But what exactly are you going for? In the entertainment industry, we need women. Look at people like Funke Akindele, who studied law, but she's making it in the entertainment industry because she has identified that her course of study is not where her passion lies. She went for her passion and she's making waves there. So who is telling you that because you study philosophy, you must be a philosopher? Or who is telling you that because you study mass communication, you must be a presenter on BBC, TVC, LTV, NTA, or even the almighty channels? No. What we are saying, or what I am saying to you all this afternoon, is that you can choose to be relevant in any field or sector your passion lies. Passion is not the same as what you studied in school. You must have studied, or you might be studying chemistry, pure and applied chemistry, and your passion is in acting. My dear, brace up your courage. While you are in school, start gathering knowledge about where your passion lies. Because most times what people get wrong is that at some point, you might be discouraged, because this is the difference between passion and doing what you have studied in school. For passion, whether you are being paid or you are not being paid, you want to keep it going. But for what you have studied in school, which your passion do not lie in, at some point you get tired and you might want to back off. But for passion, because you love that thing, I remember there were times I would go for political events without being invited. But because I'd seen the flyer somewhere, I would ensure that I go. I will enter bus. Sometimes, I remember in the past, God bless my mother. I remember in the past, I'll go meet my mom. I'll say, Mommy, please borrow me 5,000 from all the money you want to give me in this world. Don't worry. I'll give you when I grow up. I'll be great. I'll pay you back. Don't worry. Just borrow me. I promise you I'll pay you back. My mother will just laugh. She'll be like, what kind of a girl is this? Where are you going? Did they invite you? I remember one time, because I was the president of the Global Student Union. Unfortunately for me, I was the 63rd president, but the first female president. So I said to myself that, hey, because the way people were saying it is like, oh, she just wanted to become the president. She doesn't have something to really offer. So I told myself that, hey, me, I don't just go for something if I don't have any purpose for it. I had my 10-point agenda. So upon my emergence, I was just working and working. I remember there were times I was always going home late. Our family rule, then, you must be home before 8 o'clock. Once it is 8 o'clock and you're not home, you are in for it. So sometimes I'm coming from one event or the other, or from one meeting or the other, and it must have been past 8. I'll just be crying deep down. I won't cry outside so that people will not laugh at me. I'll be crying deep down. On getting to the gate, they will open the gate for me. Maybe I'll ask passerby to please let me call my mommy. Once they call my mom, because my mom is a disciplinarian and it really helped me growing up. Once they call my mommy and my mommy comes out to open the door, you know how fathers do. They won't tell you, they won't beat you, but they will be talking and be making your mother feel like she's the one encouraging bad thing. Who else have that experience here? Who else understand? Who can relate?
Yes.
I relate to.
So amazing. I like the fact that there are some of us who can relate on the call. So each time it's like that, Daddy will be talking. He won't beat me, oh, but he will be talking. The way we'll be talking, is your mother. I know it's your mother that is making you to do all this. Coming back late. I know she's in support of it. And you know mothers will not want to act like they are in support of it. And mothers will be pained that fathers are saying all in those words at them, like as though they knew about it. Mindful, knowing fully well that they might not even be aware about it. my mom will just beat me. My mom will beat Jesus. But let me tell you, I'm driving somewhere because I'm talking about passion. Upon the, like, they were beating me almost every day because I was always getting on past it. There was a day I tried very hard not to get on past it, but there was traffic, Lagos traffic. So I don't want to use the word coming to my mind, my mouth for Lagos traffic. Let me just continue. Lagos traffic is something else. Hectic. Ah, so that day I could not make it. And so they kept on doing that. And it was like a weekly thing. It became a monthly thing. They were still beating me and everything. And then one day, I remember Daddy sat me down and sat my mother down too. And it was like, I don't feel happy about the way we always beat you for you coming late. We realized that you are not going out to do rubbish or anything. Although we have our rules and we don't want to bend our rules for you, but we also realize that it seems where your passion lies. Okay, moving forward, anytime you can get home earlier than 8, please get home. And anytime you cannot get home earlier than 8, just keep us informed. We'll stop beating you because we can see that you have passion in it. If you don't have passion for it, we have done too much for you to still keep coming late and still be going through all the things we do to you. Can you relate to what passion is? You don't get tired of passion. Even when there are discouragements, you don't get tired of passion. So follow your passion. Follow your passion. Can you hear me? Follow your passion. Personal empowerment and confidence building. Teach self-worth, learn self-worth, confidence, and assertiveness in personal and professional spaces. A lot of you cannot even stand in front of 10 people to address them. You need to work on that. That's not too good. If you find it interesting to check my Instagram page, my LinkedIn page, my social handles, I put out things on how to build your self-confidence, on how to become a great woman and everything. If time permits you, check it out. Look at, learn tips on how to build your self-confidence, because if as a woman you cannot build your self-confidence, you'll be intimidated by men and your fellow women too. You'll be intimidated by them. So you need to build your self-confidence. You need to build your self-worth. You need to understand that you don't need anybody to tell you that your worth is what? Is priceless. Do not because of then there was no money, but I'd never thought of it in my life, in my entire life, that I'm not a great person. I'd always seen myself as a great person, even when I was managing maybe 5 clothes or thereabouts. But I had always seen myself as a great person. So becoming great or attaining greatness is not by shock to me because I'd always seen myself as such. So my question is, what do you see yourself as? Do you see yourself as a second-class person, third-class person, a commoner, or a great person? Ask yourself that question. Let me quickly wrap up because of my time. I think I have 5 or 10 minutes left. I don't know. Breaking stereotypes. Women don't need permission to dream big. You don't need anybody's permission to dream big. Upon everything I've mentioned that I am doing, I still run an NGO, Adonis Save a Girl Foundation, where we nurture girls to be self-actualized. You see, the capacity of your dream would tell and show the world who you are. Don't dream. For today's International Women's Day, I made a video. I think the video has been going viral since I posted it this morning. It has gotten over 50K, over 50 reposts and everything. What do I want to say? I'm driving somewhere. When I sat down just on Thursday and I'm like, Saturday is International Women's Day. What am I doing? How am I celebrating it? It's not just about typing or doing graphic design as usual. I want to say things to encourage more women. And guess what I did? I called a videographer. I said, hello, I want to make a video. I want to make a video for Thursday, on Friday. Would you be available? Say, yes, of course I'll be available. I said, okay. I'd never used the videographer before. Someone recommended him to me. Naturally, I would have done it all by myself, but I couldn't do it. Why? Because my hands are tight. And then you need to understand too, when your hands are tight, rather than disappoint people or make people not see you as someone who stick to their words, be kind enough to say no or refer someone or ask someone to help you out, because your integrity is your selling point. I repeat, your integrity is your selling point. That was how I called the guy. We filmed it. I had to pay for it, something that I could have done myself, but I had no time for it. So I had to pay for it. But then I got the quality I wanted. So I'm just putting it forward to you. You need to dream big. My sister, dream big. It's so sweet, because by the time you become great, you'll be glad that you once dreamt big. Then your personal development, networking, mentorship. On this call, you shouldn't leave this call without networking with 2 or 3 persons, or even 1 person. Oh, no, there's nothing to network about. We are all House of Reps members of University of Lagos Science Student Association. So there's nothing to network about. I know her name is Shade. Do you know what Shade do? Do you know the skills Shade has? Do you know if some of the skills Shade has, if you network with Shade, it will elevate you. It can bring in connection and job opportunities. Do you know? So do not just ignore networking. A lot of great men are great today, not because they worked hard, but because they understood early enough what networking is all about, or was all about, sorry. So the next one is time. Okay. Practical steps to empower more women and girls. Look out for a mentor or role model. Look out for a mentor or role model. Most women who have succeeded are willing to help others, but those they want to help, are they willing to be helped? Look out for mentors or role models. I remember it was just this month that the first set of my official mentorship cohorts finished. I finished with them just early this month. I'm taking the new cohort this same month, and it's just gonna be for 3 months too, for the second cohort. So look out for role models, look out for a mentor, look out for mentors. Policy advocacy. You need to push for policies that promote gender equality. Let your voice be heard, so that when they are talking about gender equality, they think of you, they talk about you. Community support. Build safe spaces for women to thrive. Be involved in community building. Be involved in giving support. It's not everything that you have to get money from for now. Volunteer first. Money will come later. I volunteered almost all my life, but now I'm reaping the fruit of my volunteering. Then technology and innovation. Leverage digital tools for empowerment. Even online, there are a lot of things that you can access to be empowered. Like, see, this digital stuff, leverage on it. Oh, I know what I'm talking about. Then this is my call to action for you. This is my call to action for you all. What can you do today as an individual? Let me look at your names on this call. Okay, I want to check. Okay, as Adebowale, as Queensley, as Ayomide, as Oreoluwa, as Beola, as Favor, as Ayoluwa, as Kehinde, as Olanike, as Abibat, as Jason Tofumi, as Taye, as Oreoluwa, as Sheik, as Tochi, and the host herself. I want to put it forward to you all. Embrace yourself, embrace your growth, be more committed to your growth, be more committed to developing yourself, dream big, advocate for policies that support women, leverage on digital literacy, think of entrepreneurship. If you have one already, build on it. If you do not have one, think of how to get one for yourself. We all need to be financially independent. And How can that be made possible? By becoming empowered, by getting involved, by creating the space we want to belong to. Collaboration over competition. If your fellow lady or fellow woman or fellow girl is doing something, think of how you can collaborate rather than compete with them. Competition will take you nowhere. Rather, it's going to devalue you. It's going to expose you to a platform that will not add to your growth, that will not even contribute to your existence. So choose collaboration at all time. Even if that person is doing the same thing as you are doing. Oh, Shade, what do you think we can? I see that you also do this. Oh, I also do this. What do you think we can do together? I remember a lady reached out to me. She's into business. She's into leather work. And she's like, Comfort, I noticed that you influence for people and you create content for people. I want you to help me create content for my brand. How much is it? Normal, I know how much I charge. So I told her the amount I charge, and I told her that because you are a fellow lady like me who is trying to strive in her business, I'm going to ask you to pay any amount you have. She was shocked and she paid, and I'm working on a project already. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this to tell you that anywhere you see a fellow woman like you, support them. Do not compete. Even if your fellow man wants to compete, help them to understand that competition kills faster than any other thing, faster than death. So invest in yourself, learn a new skill, start that business, or apply for that leadership position. It is not always about the gender. In fact, it is not about the gender. It is about the agenda. So when you get back home today or after this call, ask yourself, what is my agenda in life? Thank you all for listening, and God bless you. Remember, when you empower a woman, you empower a nation. So empowerment isn't just a concept, it's a movement. It's up to each of us to take action and create a world where every woman and girl has the opportunity to thrive. I put it forward to everyone on this call. Let's rise together. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much, Ma. It's not about the gender, it's about the agenda. Wow, and I learned three empowerment, economic empowerment, educational empowerment. I don't know if the last one is this social political empowerment, ma'am.
Hello,
Oh,
please come again. I got distracted. I was trying to
okay.
reply to people online.
Oh, okay. So the types of empowerment, the last one is this social political empowerment.
Okay, so I mentioned social and political empowerment.
Okay, and okay. Yeah, I got the three that you wrote down. Thank you very much, Ma. I really did enjoy your session. Like when my predecessor, Tevi, gave me your contact, I thought it was a small woman. I did not know that it's a big woman I'm talking to. Now I've learned that it's not about the gender, is about the agenda. To all our speakers, I am very, very grateful. Like we ladies, we are very, very grateful for having you all to speak to us. We really learned a lot. Like we learned on rights, we learned on equality with we no for that equality, we learned that equity leads to equality. Yes, we are we are so so grateful. And now we are learning that it's not about the gender, it's about the agenda. That means it's not about you being a male or a female, it's about what you can put down, what you can bring to the table, what you can bring to the nation. We are past we are way past our time now, and I would love to ask question, but let me just say just two people. Let me check the chat box if there's any. Oh, okay. So, oh, great. Um, Mrs. Olafare, Senator Olafare has sent our Instagram list already. So I think what I'll do is that the IG of our speakers, I'll get it, or their mail rather, I'll get it. Then anybody that has a question, you can send it to us. Then would ensure that we collate all these questions, then we send it to the speakers so that they can do the collect the answers for us. They will send it because of we have passed the time. This is me saying that once again, the House of the University of Lagos Science Student Association, really House of Representative Ulssahor. We really appreciate every one of you for your time, for making it, or for staying to this time. We are so grateful, even though because of our online classes, if we had physical session, trust me, this program would have had it physically so that everybody will enjoy and learn from these our great speakers that we are. But we know that second semester will be another time for us to have a physical program by the grace of God. This is me saying thank you to every honorables, which consists of all the class rep from year one down to all the class rep in the Faculty of Science from year one down to year five. We appreciate you. For our media team, our content team, our secretariat team, we say a big thank you for the graphics design. Oh my God, the graphics design has been hundreds. That no, I really love you and I appreciate your service. Yes, your service. Like our last speaker said, volunteer. If one thing I'm known for in the faculty is volunteering, I like volunteering. Because you see where volunteering took our last speaker to. So it's not because of where we want to. We should volunteer because it's a nature, because we are called to serve. So let's learn to serve. If others will serve us, we'll also learn to serve. There's no leader without being a follower. Because of it, in the place of followership, you learn leadership. That is the way it is. So I'm saying a big thank you. Thank you to Miss Aboyade Ayomide. Thank you to Miss Olanike Ogechi. Thank you for Senator Comfort Olafare. Thank you to our sub-dean, Dr. Bami Dele. You are, God bless you, sir. If somebody is like my daddy, anytime I reach out to him to that we need this, we need that, he's always there. We are currently streaming this program live on YouTube. For as many that could not follow on via Zoom, will send the YouTube link. You can go back and watch it and learn from our speakers. They dropped a lot of points, so you need to go back and watch, unlearn, learn, and relearn. That is what